These people are the best at being the absolute worst. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 worst things the It's Always Sunny gang has ever done.
This is dark.
Darkest thing we've ever done.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're taking a look at the most despicable, heinous, and hysterically awful deeds the patrons of Paddy's pub have ever committed.
What a bunch of scumbags.
Number 10. Kidnapping a critic. Critics can be cruel, but calling Paddy's pub the worst bar in Philadelphia is a pretty spot-on statement. Nevertheless, the gang doesn't take kindly to these harsh words and smash up the critic's office when he refuses to reconsider his review.
You're all out of time, bitch!
Boom!
You just got phased.
This just in, poo-poo pants. People don't read newspapers anymore.
Oh, how's that for class?
It only gets worse from there, as a drunken Charlie kidnaps the critic with his neighbor and cat also getting roped into the mix. After an uncomfortable trip to the bathroom and a bottle to the head, the critic writes another piece that epitomizes why the gang are such miserable human beings.
The owners all deserve to rot in jail, though having to spend every day with each other in that vile establishment is a decidedly greater punishment.
And since they're indeed horrible people, the gang further harasses the long-suffering critic, demanding he use their names in the article.
I am incredibly annoyed that he didn't mention my
I wish
name.
I could live with this, but I can't.
I know.
It's a story about us! I feel like we gotta go talk to him again. We should talk to him!
Number 9. Breaking D. While every main character on this show is terrible, Dee is perhaps the most sympathetic since her friends and family constantly gang up on her for no reason. After 8 seasons of being the butt of the joke, Dee is finally sent into a downhill spiral of self-loathing.
Fight back at us.
What's the point? The joke's always on me, all right? I get it.
Yeah, but it's no fun unless you fight back.
Maybe I'm just gonna go home.
Seeming empathetic, the gang encourages Dee to give her stand-up career another shot. Gray skies finally start to clear up for Dee, but it turns out to be an elaborate prank, and the gang pulls the rug out from under her in the most hilariously mean-spirited way possible.
Oh, God, you sons of bitches!
While this reignites the spark in Dee, she still hits a new low and drags Dennis down with her.
All right, so we got Dee back, and I think we may have broke Dennis. Broke me? Nah, come on, I'm good. I love all this. This is great. I'm gonna pop out for a little while.
Number 8. Pretending to be terrorists.
Cut. What the hell are you doing, dude?
That's what those tapes sound like.
In an episode that's offensive to virtually anyone living in a post-9/11 world, the gang learns they need to vacate the bar when an Israeli businessman purchases the land it's on. In a scheme to get the bar back, the guys decide to disguise themselves as terrorists and send the new owner a threatening video.
I'm gonna get a weapon. I'm gonna get a weapon. Let's go get a weapon, everybody. Everybody get a weapon!
Between their stereotypical outfits and Dennis's unbelievably vulgar impression, the gang realizes that the video is too dark even for them. Dialing it back a notch, they figure that a flaming bag of poop will get the job done instead. This literally backfires, however, as the bag causes an explosion due to a gas leak.
This is gonna be great. It's gonna smell so bad in there. Just hope he gets the message.
Number 7. Attempted cannibalism.
Dee, we're cannibals now. I mean, it's pretty obvious to me.
It's starting to look that way,
It's a
isn't it?
fact, Dee. That's what it is. Look, if we don't feed the hunger, we could die from
It's
it.
not our fault, it's nature.
To get back at Charlie and Dee for eating his steak, Frank tricks them into thinking they ate human meat. Eventually falling for Frank's prank, Charlie and Dee decide they need to eat human flesh to see if they've become cannibals.
I think we need to try a piece of human flesh,
Oh, God.
just to make sure.
That's the only way.
Make sense? When eating a dead guy at the morgue doesn't pan out, they set their eyes on a homeless kid who they lure back to Charlie's apartment. After the kid wisely flees, Charlie and Dee learn they merely ate raccoon meat, which prevents them from attempting cannibalism once again.
No.
No, then why am I always hungry? And I have
Randy,
stomach pains and
it
nothing
hurts.
satisfies my
Nothing.
hunger?
You probably got a tapeworm. That cool meat is lousy with parasites.
Tying into the episode's unusual theme of eating the homeless, Dennis and Mac also set out to hunt Cricket, but more on him later. Number 6. Doing blackface. As merchants of bad taste, it was only a matter of time until somebody on this show did blackface.
Laurence Olivier in Othello, dude. That's like the classiest actor of all time.
Yeah, but I guarantee you there were some black people that were working on that movie that were like, hey, man, what that white man doing? Come on, that ain't right. Get a black man.
Although it's acknowledged that blackface is incredibly racist, That doesn't stop the gang from making Lethal Weapon 5, with Dennis as a whitewashed version of Danny Glover's Roger Murtaugh. As if that's not bad enough, Dennis eventually switches roles with Mac, who dons blackface to portray the African-American character.
Do you have any last words?
Yeah, I got some last words. Go f***ing egg.
On top of all that, the gang shows their fan film to a classroom, and Charlie convinces one student to do blackface in order to fit in. Never learning their lesson, Dee later does blackface for Lethal Weapon 6.
When I look deep in your eyes, I find my own destiny.
Way to make Mel Gibson look PC. Number 5. Digging up a dead body. It came as a surprise to everyone when Dennis and Dee's mom suddenly died in Season 3 due to a botched neck lift.
She's as dead as disco. Who wants champagne?
5 seasons later, however, Frank leads everyone else to believe that his dead whore wife might be alive. As the evidence begins to pile up, it appears Barbara Reynolds is still kicking, with money hidden all over Philly. It isn't long until the gang digs up Barbara's grave, expecting to find a coffin of cash, but instead stumble upon a decomposed corpse. As Dee and Dennis gaze upon their mother's dead body in horror, Frank reveals that this was all a hoax he orchestrated just because they said he was losing it.
I grifted your asses good because you said I was slipping.
I feel too much.
You made me dig up my dead mother because I said you were losing it?
Number 4. Extreme Makeover Hell Edition.
Sea fácil. Su casa es no más. Su vida es no más. Somos extremos. Como la televisión.
Even when the gang is trying to do a good deed, they somehow manage to make things infinitely worse. Wanting to give the Juarez family the Extreme Makeover Home Edition treatment, the gang dresses in all black and kidnaps the family.
Wake up, my brown friend! It's time to change your life!
While holding them hostage, they aim to remodel their home, but instead turn it into a demolition zone.
We gotta gut this entire place. Here's what I'm thinking now. After we get done smashing all their old shit, I'm thinking we take out this wall. You know what I mean? Just let the room breathe a little bit.
Okay.
The family not only ends up losing their house, but all of their furniture as well. With nothing but a pile of rubble left, a judge gives the family Mrs. Reynolds' old house. It may seem like a happy ending for the Juarezes, but they're ultimately forced to sell the mansion due to the property tax. Number 3. Making money off a dumpster baby.
Do the jumping thing. Do the jump. He does a Mexican jumping bean.
Holding a funeral for a baby who never existed is one thing, but finding a dumpster baby and using him to make a profit is another. Rather than calling the authorities, the gang debates whether to keep little DB or put him back where they found him. Realizing that he's cute enough to be a Gerber baby, they try to book him some commercials.
We have an opportunity to give it a real future here.
Yes, by making it a star.
And who have better lives than child stars?
Nobody.
Nobody. Rich, famous, they have it all.
Oh my God, they're the happiest people on earth.
While there isn't a high demand for white babies, casting agencies are on the lookout for Hispanic babies. Further endangering the child, Mac and Dee try taking DB to a tanning salon.
We just want to put him in there for a couple of minutes.
Just to get a base.
Just to get a base.
We'll sign whatever waivers or whatever you need us to do.
So let us cook him for a couple of minutes and we'll be out of your hair.
Fortunately, Child Services comes to the rescue before they can completely paint him with shoe polish. Blackface strikes again. Number 2. Trapping their enemies to burn alive.
I've got an idea.
So we're just gonna lock them in there?
They're definitely gonna burn to death.
Having committed so many unforgivable deeds, the gang has naturally made their fair share of enemies over the years. Wanting to squash their beefs, the gang invites the McPoyles, Cricket, Gail the Snail, and others they've wronged to Thanksgiving dinner. The signing of a peace treaty soon evolves into a food and hatchet fight, however, as Mac's bedroom breaks out in flames.
My room's on fire. Why is my room on fire?
I may have started a money fire.
Although they could easily alert the others of this fire, the gang unremorsefully decides to seal everyone else in the apartment, so they don't have to ever face their problems.
We don't need to get along with anybody else. We got each other.
Screw everybody else. I hate people who are different than me. You know? Why pretend?
It's a good thing there's a fire escape, or else the gang likely would have been wanted for murder. Before we get to our top pick, here are a few honorable, or dishonorable, depending on how you look at it, mentions.
So do you come to these kind of things often, or?
Are you hitting on me at an abortion rally?
And I suspect that maybe you might say no, and yet I also feel like maybe you wouldn't dare.
shit.
Number 1. Ruining Cricket's life.
So you're living on the streets now, Cricket.
Yes, I'm
That's
living-
great. That's really great.
Actually, it's the opposite of great, Charlie. It's one of the darkest times of my life.
Is it?
That makes
Is
sense.
it?
Yes.
Before he was hunted for game or left to burn alive, Rickety Cricket had already been sent down a dark path thanks to the Paddy's pub gang. Exploiting Cricket's affection for Dee, the gang motivates him to leave the Catholic Church. Of course, Dee immediately rejects Cricket, who's unable to return to priesthood.
Oh, Maddie, I think you are a great guy.
My life is ruined.
No.
Turning to a life of sin, Cricket appears more sickly, desperate, and homeless every time he encounters the gang over the next 10 seasons.
Holy shit!
shit,
Holy
dude.
shit! Put it back on!
Put it on.
Put it back on! Put it on! What the hell happened to your face?
While you could argue that Cricket is technically responsible for his own poor choices, it's safe to say that his life would have turned out much better if the gang wasn't constantly acting as the devils on his shoulder.
Because he's got like the worst life imaginable, and that's clearly what those people want.
That's true, I do have the worst life.
Yeah.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.